they want to get a $800 billion valuation. All they actually got to do is start selling trucks right now, because I can't I can't find a truck within 3 states right now. That's how sold out a truck shit is. So, um, hey, if you want to blow that valuation up, just start delivering trucks. People are paying crazy amounts right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like, I'm with you there. The story here is Rivian, uh, car company backed by Amazon. Ford wants to IPO at 80 billion. Wanted to bring this up to you, James, because at an $80 billion valuation, that sits them as the sixth largest automaker by market cap. And according to the article, they haven't delivered a car yet. They've got a couple orders from Amazon to deliver trucks and things, and they're only going to be delivering about 10,000 of them next year. But what do you think of an $80 billion valuation on no actual realized revenue?
Welcome to 2001. So,
Yeah,
that's just a new world, man. Sometimes analyzing fundamentals. It's all about what can you do, and then this is life in the investing world. Now, my question is, when do they actually expect to deliver the first vehicle?
yeah. So it was on the article somewhere. I will find it. Here we go. By the end of next year, they can deliver 10,000.
Oh, that's cool, but when are they going to deliver the first one?
Yeah, yeah.
I'll believe the 10,000 when they actually get one done. I'm not saying they won't do it. I hate that shit. It's and then somehow that'll get changed, right? That 10,000 becomes 5,000, and becomes 3,000, and it's like one of those things. I can't believe anything more until you see it.
Yeah.
And even when you see it, I need to touch it and kick it and maybe set it on fire. I need to make sure that it's actually, we're not in the matrix here. There's so much I'm gonna in this world, and a lot of stuff just never seems to happen.
Yeah.
So when they actually start delivering the goddamn cars, and maybe I'll believe it. But I mean, you got Ford in there, you got Amazon in there. They're gonna dump money into this thing. Also kind of a wake up call on the Tesla side. There are people out there that believe that the only car you're ever going to be able to buy in the world's a Tesla.
Right.
I don't even argue with those people. Actually, I don't argue with anybody anymore. It ain't worth it. But it's the same thought that all these people think that it's only going to be Tesla, and that Volkswagen and Ford and Toyota and all these companies are all going to disappear one day. And it's only going to be Tesla. Tesla's taking, that's why their valuation's so high, Tesla. And it's like, no, they're first. And a lot of times when you're first, you get the biggest chunk of that market. But that's crazy to think that Ford and BMW and these other people aren't going to jump on the electric bandwagon. Or there's going to be just straight up new startups coming in. And, we're kind of seeing that now, right?
Isn't the Ford F-150 the most popular car in the States?
I want to say it has been for quite a few years. I knew someone in Texas that, if you didn't own a Ford pickup truck, you ain't shit. Ford's very popular, best-selling pickup. It's weird because I think on GM, if you actually combined the Chevy Silverado and the GMC Sierra, I want to say those numbers are pretty close.
Okay.
But they get treated as two different buckets, I think. Like if Ford sold trucks and Mercury sold trucks, those numbers would get separated. But either way, Ford's kind of the king in that sense. But
yep.
The amount of brand loyalty that Ford has when it comes to pickup trucks. Do you think people are just going to jump over the Tesla with the Cybertruck?
Yeah, no, of course not. No. So I'll ask you a follow-up question to that then, James. Knowing that Ford has that much brand equity, and knowing that demand for pickup trucks is so high, would Ford ever just... So they've got a big investment in Rivian, but would they ever just give up that market to Rivian?
I don't know. I think I'm thinking about getting another truck, even though I didn't want to get another truck. I was on Ford's website yesterday, and now the first thing they're marketing is their new electric truck on the Ford website.
Right.
So
right.
I think if you throw a competitive electric powertrain and a F-150 truck, they're probably going to continue to sell them. I think I
So,
just go ahead.
so then the follow up to that would be, would it surprise you if this was just kind of a balance sheet play? Like Ford has big investment in this. If they IPO Rivian and then get out, do they just sit on a big chunk of cash?
Sounds like a smart play to me. I think McDonald's did that with Chipotle Grill. If you think about it, I think McDonald's used to have again, a lot of shit I pull from my memory. I don't know, maybe I'm making this shit up and I don't know. I think McDonald's had an investment in Chipotle Grill and they started to blow up and then they cashed out. I mean, it could be a balance sheet play. No different than what Elon does with Bitcoin.
Right, exactly.
Tesla profits up 4,000%, and then you realize 3,900% came from the Bitcoin. This is like crazy stuff we're talking here, but it could be a balance sheet play, or it could be the similar of if I'm Colgate toothpaste and I am also manufacturing the Walgreen brand toothpaste too. It's just one way to get another chunk of the market, right?
Yep.
And the things like, I worked in manufacturing a little bit in technology consulting, some tiny bit of manufacturing consulting, not really my bucket. But, one of my primary companies does executive search for the manufacturing industry. And you can kind of see where this happens. Ford could easily take some of their like IP and their knowledge and really help this company out. And I get in conversations with that, when someone bounces, when we're moving executives around, but someone goes from Toyota to Ford or Ford to GM, and this is thought of like intellectual property, and that cars aren't just powertrains, even though we get really consumed by, it's got a twin turbo V6, it's got a naturally aspirated, V8. Like, we're very powertrain driven in America, and so is Germany's that way. It's, if you have a V8 over there, it's like a status symbol. So we're very powertrain driven, and then we kind of forget that cars have all this other IP. So the way the windows are, and the switches, and the windshield, and the headlights, and the suspension, and there's way more to cars than just a powertrain. And you think about it, if these guys they got the powertrain down, and someone like Ford can come along, it's like, yeah, we can take care of the seats and the window switches and all these other things, and the safety components. You know how much easier it is for them to get off the ground? And that's where I look at Tesla is really powertrain. The people I know that have their cars or looked at their cars, like, everyone loves the powertrain, but they don't always love the styling. They don't always love the quality. They don't always love the interior. They love the powertrain. It's fast. It's electric. They got, range. But you don't always love everything about Tesla. You love owning a Tesla because it's a Tesla. And you love it for the powertrain. But there's so many other components when you talk to people. If you're really like car nuts, we always talk about the acceleration, but after a year of ownership, there's things that irritate you. And it's not the same like when you get into one of the new Mercedes-Benz or a new BMW, like the level of luxury and quality. If you're sitting in a $100,000 car, for example, I said the Tesla it's 100,000, then I'll feel like it's 100,000 Kane. Not when I go sit in a BMW or a Mercedes for the same price. The design of the car, the knobs, the screen, the electronics, the leather, the feel of it all, that feels like a luxury $100,000 car, where the Tesla doesn't feel that way, right? And that's my own opinion. But I know a lot of people are buying it because it's an electric car. It's got good range. It's got crazy acceleration. There's all these things that make Tesla. But there's more to cars than powertrain. So you see where Ford jumps in with all this know-how and like 100+ years of this stuff and running the most dominant truck line in history, probably. What they could bring to this table beyond cash.
Yeah.
So
true. That's a really good point.
This is where you could see if someone will eventually leapfrog Tesla, believe it or not. They're either going to do it with a better, same technology, or they're going to come out with a whole new technology that we've never thought of. Think about how many things happened in the last 20 years, Kane, that happened, but we never thought about them before that. The next 20 years might be similar, where we just come across something that we didn't know that existed. they're going to bang two molecules together out somewhere, and you're going to be able to turn a bottle of Coke into like 15 gigawatts of power or some shit.
Right.
Things that we just never thought of. So I don't know. The say it's the Tiger Woods thing where did Tiger Woods get worse or did everyone else catch up?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, first mover advantage doesn't seem like it's as strong in automotive, because I mean, how much of the market can Tesla with its 4 models actually cover? And there's so many different price points, there's so many different preferences that consumers have. Like you feel like a second mover, third mover would be able to leapfrog.
I mean, they got first mover advantage in the electric car space, but if you look at total auto sales, it's a blip. How many cars does Tesla even sell in a year right now?
Yeah, I don't think it's that many. You're right.
It's not a few, but Ford might sell more F-150s than what Tesla sells total.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure about. I think Ford might sell like 1 million F-150s a year. Maybe Tesla's
That's
up there.
crazy.
I don't know either number, but then you start thinking about that. One line from one manufacturer might sell more than what a whole auto manufacturer. So it's like, are we just waiting for someone to come along with a better powertrain that can go license it or sell it to Ford, to GM, to BMW, to Mercedes-Benz, to Honda, to like all these other places, right? They're working on their own shit. Well, what's preventing the next startup from coming along with a better powertrain and a better battery technology and just selling it to Ford? And then you take your F-150, that's the best-selling truck in America, and you drop this shit in there. Those days are probably coming. It's like saying that, with the iPhone, that the iPhone was going to end up in 95% of the market.
Yeah.
And then how much does Android have now?
That's a big share.
There you go. So we'll see. Also, you got to think they're creating new markets in a sense with some of these products. The people I know that were like, "Oh, I want to get a Cybertruck," are not what I consider truck people. I got my truck. I've got my beds filled up with mulch, towing firewood. I tow trailers. I tow ATVs. Like, I beat my truck up. Like, I use my truck to do shit. These people really aren't looking at the Cybertruck because they want to go pick up, a yard of 21 AA stone and they're going to work on their driveway. Like, they like the idea of the Cybertruck. It looks cool. It's futuristic and all that shit. But these aren't the same people that have like plans to, tow 10,000 pounds for 4 hours or fill their bed up with junk and do the things that I think trucks often do. Granted, a lot of people just buy trucks and they never use them for that stuff. It's a whole other conversation. But in a way, as a Cybertruck creates a new market, they're getting people into this, derivative of the truck market that normally wouldn't buy an F-150. Hell, we all know people that bought trucks. At least I do. I bought a big truck and they're like, I want to buy a big truck, and then they can't drive the fucking thing. It's they can't even get it parked into a parking spot. That's everybody at Target that should own a pickup truck or a Suburban, right?
Yeah.
Those giant Suburbans they can't. They should just create Suburban parking spaces where they take out a line and it's a double parking spot. Because people cannot park those things for shit. This is a time when technology is good. Bring the auto parking shit to the Suburban because people cannot park Suburbans for shit.
Yeah.
Sorry for the mini.
Just for accuracy's sake, not all good. Just for accuracy's sake, Tesla sold like 292,000 cars in 2020, but it seems to be scaling because they sold 200,000 they delivered 200,000 in Q2 of this year. So it seems to be scaling, but much less than the 1 million, even just one line that you said for Ford. And then Android has 87% share. So Apple is 13%.
Holy shit. I thought it was like 50-50 or something. Wow.
Oh, yeah, surprising.
You sure that's right? Holy shit. That's
2019, yeah.
Oh, man. It's probably similar numbers you see Apple versus like the, Mactel. Yeah. Not Mactel, Wintel. probably similar. Like, Macs have not taken over the desktop market, for example. Yeah, for some reason I thought iPhone was way up there, but I don't know. You came out with that iPhone, and everyone thought that was going to take over the world, and they got a lot of market, but it didn't.
Well, it shows you how good their marketing is, because like there is that like perception that everybody has an iPhone.
I feel like most people I know have an iPhone, and then there's like maybe 3 to 1 or something like that. But maybe there's other parts of the country or other parts of the world that are Android. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's something that we can look into later. But maybe by country, where's the big Android users? Like people that buy. I know a lot of people buy Samsung, right? I'd be curious to see how that works out. I'm the last time I even checked on Tesla's sales number, I thought they were doing like 400,000 to 500,000 cars. I'm sure last year was shitty with COVID. Maybe they're up to doing 800,000, like we just talked about. And I could be wrong about the Ford F-150. Off the top of my head, I thought I read somewhere once that they sell 1 million trucks a year. But if that is true, then think about it. Like, they got one line from one manufacturer that sells more than the whole. Can we put things into perspective, right? Like, Tesla's got a long way to go. And then by then you think about the amount of competition and technology in the Tiger Woods syndrome. A lot of people got better and people start to catch up. And you can't be surprised when someone like Tesla puts, that's what they do every day, all day. And you're surprised they're leading. That's not rocket science. It's not a surprise. Because Ford's over here like, well, I'm busy selling 1 million trucks right now. We'll come around to that electric shit later. So you can't be surprised when this is what someone does all day, every day, and they get better at it. But when the big three and then the German automotive and the Japanese decide to like jump on board, and that's where they just laser focus their energy, do you not think that they're not going to catch up quick?
Yeah, that's true. There's an interesting dynamic though in the F-150 because so you're right. In 2018 they sold about 1 million, so 900,000. 2019 they sold about 900,000, but it's falling. And then 2020 they sold 780,000. So depending on how 2021 pans out, it looks like they're losing share.
I mean, I think a lot of car sales took a hit last year because of COVID. Yeah. And then right now everyone's hurting because of the chip shortage. I want to say like Chrysler and GM, or don't quote me on this one either, this is like random shit I read. I feel like the Dodge Ram and Chevy GMC have been picking up market share. Ford's had a few issues with their products, if I recall. I buy heavy duty trucks because I tow shit. I hate what they did with the heavy duty grill. There was a styling point at Ford when I thought they had it nailed. And I think that's kind of their peak years. And then something happened with the design on their trucks in the last couple of years that I'm not a big fan of, but for something that's a utility to me, I can look past it. But there was a time when their trucks were just, the style was so perfect. And then they screwed it up. And I can see where the GMC and the Dodge stuff is starting to look so nice with so many features that they start losing some market share. Other things, I think they made a mistake on the previous president. He was really big on trying to push that, EcoBoost twin turbo V6. They did that in their supercar, and they put that in the Ford Raptor, which people bought it. But everyone I know that wanted to buy a Raptor have not bought a Raptor because they didn't want a twin turbo V6 in their Raptor. And we know what twin turbo V6s can do. It's just a thought for how much money that thing costs, and then you add on the dealer markup. To spend that kind of money for a twin turbo V6 is not appealing. And I feel like this guy he was too ahead of the times with the let's just say the environment and the gas mileage and all that shit that he wanted to really start. He wanted to put this V6 in 2 of their Halo cars. Well, he's not with them anymore the last time I checked, because it looks like that was a fundamental mistake. Because you got to look at the buyer and see, what does the buyer want? And when the buyer is going to spend $100,000 on a pickup truck, we don't want twin turbo V6s, we want V8s. That's just, and it sounds like they're going to bring it back, but there's just been some missteps at Ford where they kind of miscalculated the market, and then they messed up some design cues. And then I could see where, that probably hurt truck sales, because GM Chevy and Dodge is over here, and they're throwing everything at you. Yeah, I can see where they might lose some market share there.
Mhm. Yeah.
But I'm boring you with truck talk. I think that's probably the last thing I care about.
I like looking at numbers though. So
Yeah, I mean, you're probably more excited we're talking about fucking Vespas, but
Right. Yeah, that's true.
anyways, that's all I got for this one, man.
All right, thanks, Jim.
Yeah, I catch you.